If you've been struggling with the belly fat, the back fat, the man boobs, feeling sluggish or low energy, maybe you got like 50 pounds of fat to lose and you want to get it off the right way this time. In this video, what I want to do is just run you through some of my non-negotiables that I follow every day that help me lose over 100 pounds of body fat in a year. And if you don't know anything about me, my name is Luke. I played college football, and that picture in the left is the day that I stopped and I started my journey to being a healthier version of me. When I stopped playing football, I lost that love for the game, right? So I lost that part of myself as well. And I really had to rebuild my identity. And I didn't just want to be one of those guys that focused his whole entire life on his career. As much as my career is important to me, fitness became part of my identity, and it's become so rewarding and become the best return on investment I've ever made. And that's why I make YouTube videos like these to help you guys out and make the same transformation. So let's just jump right into it. So, how to make the scale actually go down? So, it really comes down to two things. You have calories and you have activity. And all you need to do to make the scale go down is create a caloric deficit, which means you just eat less than you burn, right? So, we're gonna keep it super basic right now, go more into the actionable stuff here in just about a couple minutes. You're going to track all of your food intake. It helps you stay accountable. And this is one of the things that I really had to break for myself was like when I was 320 pounds, I would hear track your food and I'd think like, damn, like I don't want to spend all my time doing that. Like I don't want to do all that. Like that's way too much. Isn't there just an easier way? But then it became this conversation of, well, do you want the results or do you not? And this is the only way to guarantee that you see the scale go down each and every single week. Like you can lose weight without tracking, sure, but when you see the reason I included these plateau graphs is like you see the weight go up, and if you're not tracking your food, you don't know what's going on. That's when you start overthinking. It's when you start overcomplicating. And me, like I'm an overthinker, like I need everything super cut and dry. So tracking my food just made it so much freaking easier for me to stay in that calorie deficit and to know that I'm going to see progress week over week. As far as losing weight, I want you to aim for about 0.5 to 1% of your body weight per week lost. I want you to weigh yourself consistently and then focus just more on the sustainable habits, not necessarily the crash diets, because that's how you see the long-term result. That's why I've been able to keep the weight off. Now, there is another thing of like making sure that this is actually fat loss because you can lose weight, but that can be muscle loss. So we'll get more into the actionable steps in a second, but eat enough protein to preserve your muscle mass. I want you to strength train 3 to 4, 5 days a week if you can, but I only go 4 right now to just to maintain that lean body mass. I have my client Daniel here in the bottom right to show you this is not a huge scale transformation. This is only about 10 or 15 pounds is all. But as you can see, like when you do this the right way, the scale doesn't have to move that much for you to lose a ton of fat. I want you to avoid extreme deficits that cause muscle loss. So when I was 320 pounds, like all I wanted to do was lose the weight as fast as possible. But when we go back 2 slides, if I lost that weight by going crazy in a calorie deficit, by starving myself all day, you would not see me have abs poking through my loose skin. You would not see like the cap delts. You would just see a skinny fat version of that 300-pound version of me, right? So I wanted to cut down the right way. That's why we avoid the extreme deficits. You got to monitor your body composition. So don't just look at the scale weight. That's why you take weekly progress pictures. And then, yeah, just stay in that moderate deficit. The bigger you are, though, this is the caveat, the faster you can lose it. So when I work with clients that are like over 300 pounds, which is for the most part, we do lose weight faster at the start just because your body is more able to pull from those fat stores. So let's jump right into habit number one. Is this going to be a daily weigh-in? So when I go, of course, like I was 300 pounds, man. Like I thought that weighing myself every day, like first of all, I don't want to do that every day. I don't want to see my weight be that high every day. But then I realized like if I'm only weighing myself once a week, it is so hard to see like a true trend line because if you're weighing yourself one day, like what if you're just carrying a couple extra pounds of water weight that day? So you weigh yourself, you're 2 pounds heavier than you were last week. Maybe you actually lost fat, but you have no idea because you only weighed yourself once. And this keeps you accountable, keeps you aware of trends. And now we can actually use a 7-day average to track the true progress. So this is why I included that graph on the bottom right there is these are daily weigh-ins, but you can see the jumps. So if you weigh yourself on one of those jumps where it goes up, you're gonna start freaking out. You're gonna start overthinking. You're gonna start thinking that your whole plan is just messed up, but that's not the case. and it just removes that emotional reaction to the daily fluctuations. And I'm a data guy, so this is a data-driven approach and it leads to better decisions because I need to know when I do things that I'm going to get the result. Because if I don't know that I'm getting the result, it's hard for me to do it. Wake up early. This is a huge one. So I used to hate waking up early, and honestly, like I'm still not a big fan of it. But at 320 pounds, I would lay in bed in the morning just until I had to go to work. And not only is that just a bad habit, but I find that when I wake up early, 5 or 6 a.m., those first couple hours of my day are for me. It's the only time in my day that I can 100% guarantee it's for me. Nobody's pulling me in other directions. I choose what I want to do, and typically that's just going to the gym, knocking out my workouts for the day, knocking out some steps, or if I need to prep some meals for the day, I'll do that in the morning. And it's just huge because a lot of guys, they get pulled into so many directions, whether it's work, it's family, relationships, whatever it is. When you wake up early, you're finally taking some time out of your day for yourself. It's guaranteed time, and that is so freaking important. And there's a couple more science things in here though. Like you can support a consistent circadian rhythm for fat loss. So this just means consistent wake up, consistent sleep, you're going to get better fat loss results. Same calories, same macronutrients. Like I said, it gives you that time to exercise, walk, or just basically plan out your day. Like I have my little journal here, plan out what I'm going to do for the day, makes everything just cut and dry for myself, which is exactly what I need. Because when I have clarity, that's when I have consistency. And that better sleep quality leads to less cortisol and then also fewer cravings too. So when you're able to wake up early, get good sleep, man, it's just an absolute freaking game changer. Habit number three is eat some high volume foods. So you gotta choose foods that are large in portion but low in calories. A lot of people think that I gotta lose weight so I have to eat less. No, a lot of my guys that I work with, the first thing we do is actually have them eat more, but it's lower in calories. So things like vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, they will fill you up way before you get into those super tasty like carbohydrates. So things like potatoes are a great source of high volume carbohydrates as well. And they'll just help you stay satisfied without overeating. Because for me, it was never like I was just crazy hungry all the time. It was like I would just eat so much and I just like couldn't really stop myself unless I felt super full. So when I would eat these high volume foods, it just made it a lot easier to say no to more food. So some more examples are like leafy greens. I eat a ton of Greek yogurt, snack on Greek yogurt all freaking day, man. The berries, frozen berries are a cheat code there. It's like candy, and some broth soups as well. And then just limit the calorie dense foods that don't really satisfy your hunger. You don't have to cut them out, but just be cognizant about when you're eating them. Make sure you're tracking them. Make sure that you know how much you're actually eating. So things like peanut butter. People say peanut butter is high in protein. I used to think it was high in protein. Man, that thing is high in fat. That's a fat food. That is not a protein food. It is just packed full of freaking calories and throws your deficit off like crazy. Oils, limit your oils. And then a big thing is processed snacks. So I used to be snacking on like protein bars all the time, but they just don't really fill me up. So I would get like 20 grams of protein from a protein bar, but not be full at all versus if I just ate a Greek yogurt bowl. Walk daily. So this is one where I really had to put my money where my mouth was because I was a really, really lazy guy. I would work out and then I would just sit on the couch, watch Netflix, just chill, scroll on my phone, whatever it was, right? So this was the biggest one for me besides nutrition, of course. And 7 to 10,000 steps a day is ideal. You can go more, of course, more is always better when it comes to steps, but you don't want to do too much to where you're going to burn out, right? So low impact, it's not going to be bad on your joints, especially when you're 300 pounds, you got 50 plus pounds to lose. You don't want to be doing a bunch of running because that will just tear up your knees, it'll tear up your back when you're that heavy. Now, I do running now, but that's because I'm like 200 pounds and I'm also 6'4", so take that with a grain of salt. But now that I'm a lot leaner, running is a way better option for me because it's not so hard on my joints. I don't got all of that weight bearing down on my joints. And walking is just super easy to recover from. I'm never sore from walking and it doesn't spike my hunger at all, right? Because like I said earlier, like hunger, man, I would always cave into hunger super fast. So if when I was bigger and I didn't know how to manage my hunger, if I was doing a bunch of extra cardio and spiking my hunger all the time, it would have made it so much harder for myself. You're just going to burn a ton of extra calories. You're going to improve your mood, your energy, and your metabolic health as well. So the best way to do this is just get a step tracker, like I have an Apple Watch that I just use on that. Helps you stay consistent, keeps you accountable. Another thing, man, put your money where your mouth is. Buy a walking pad. You can't see it, but right there is I have my walking pad right next to my desk. So I bought a standing desk as well just to make it a lot easier for myself. So it was either I make all of these excuses for why I can't get steps like I used to do, or I can just put my money where my mouth is, buy a walking pad, buy a standing desk, and walk while I work, or walk while I watch TV, or walk while I read a book, whatever it is. And that was a game changer for me. Number five, last one, prioritize protein. As you can see, like my meals here, we got chicken, mac and cheese, green beans, and then in the middle there is like little cheesecake bowls, and then we got some maple balsamic chicken with white rice. So all of these, man, it's just huge, huge, huge portions of protein, and that's what you have to do. Start your meals with protein. Eat the protein on your plate first. It'll help stabilize your blood sugar as well, which will reduce the cravings too. So just target zero point 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. This will keep you full, reduce your cravings, it'll preserve and build lean muscle on your gut, and increases the thermic effect of food, which means you just burn more calories just from digesting food. Best sources for this: chicken, eggs, Greek yogurt, fish, beef, even protein powders, like single ingredient foods, man. These are the absolute cheat codes for fat loss. You can eat pretty much whatever as long as it fits in your macros. But for me, like my non-negotiables, my daily habits is I'm gonna try and get a lot of my protein from single ingredient foods because it fills me up, keeps me full, reduces my cravings. Absolute cheat code. Not a lot of people are talking about that. Just to recap now. So prioritize your protein to preserve your muscle and stay full. Eat high volume food so you can eat more food with fewer calories. Walk daily so you burn more without actually burning out, right? You're not doing a bunch of extra cardio and feeling like shit because of that. Wake up early. If you win the morning, you can win the day. And having that first 1 or 2 hours, even if it's just 30 minutes, prioritize to yourself for your goals first thing in the day. It's a game changer, man. It's a game changer. You're gaining hours on everybody else in the world when you do that. And then just a daily weigh-in. So you're tracking your trends, you're staying on course, you're not freaking out at the first sign of a weight spike as well. So all of these, man, if you've consistently apply these habits, and that is the name of the game, is consistency. If you can consistently apply these habits, it will be a game changer for you. You will lose a bunch of weight. I promise you. But the thing is, like, this is where most guys struggle is with that consistency because I knew all of what I needed to do for the longest time, but I could never like actually make myself lock in and stay on track with this type of stuff because I wasn't consistent. I didn't have anybody holding me accountable. And I would, it's funny because I would do so much research, right? I would watch all the YouTube videos like this when I was 300 pounds, and all it was a defense mechanism because I was spending all that time researching when I could have be spending that time walking or in the gym or prepping meals, right? It was a defense mechanism because it felt like I was making progress, but I wasn't doing anything besides just being lazy, right? So I had to get out of that. I had to break that loop, had to absolutely freaking break that cycle. And that is why I offer the one-on-one coaching now, because you have the full blueprint to lose weight super simply. But these are some of my client results. So bottom right there, that is 7 weeks. The middle there, that is a couple months. And then the top right there, that is also 7 weeks. So when you work with me, what you'll get is a full dashboard of everything laid out super, super clearly for you. And then you'll also get my other app, which is completely custom made by me. We'll lay out everything that you need to do on a daily basis. And my mission here is to make this as easy as possible for you, just like this video. But in my coaching program, we also have peptide structures. We have meals. I have a full recipe book that I give to my guys. We have one-on-one calls with me. We have a full community. So it's really all encompassing. And those are the type of results that you can expect. Now, I don't make promises, but I mean, you see for yourself. You know, bottom right, Big Four accountant. Middle there, he's an engineer. And then top right is a sales VP. So these guys are real guys. They're working busy jobs. They have stressful lifestyles. And like you, they probably knew all of what to do. They knew about macros, knew about calories, but they could never just hold themselves accountable, hold themselves to a higher standard. And when you put your money where your mouth is, man, that's when changes start to happen. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, that link is going to be the first link in the description to apply for coaching. If I think we're a good fit, I'll personally reach out and we will get to work. And if you're not ready to do that, I appreciate you watching, and hit me a follow on Instagram and follow along on my daily stories. Peace.